Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and
Just a second, Michael. We're not quite live streaming yet. Sorry.
okay, yeah.
I'm just having a snag in the YouTube.
Just let me know when we're live streaming. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our Enacting Peace webcast for the solstice, the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere and the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. I'm Michael Macy, and it really is it's a joy and a pleasure to welcome you all for this period of peace where we will hear from people around the world who will share with us their thoughts and their prayers and some meditation. The idea of enacting peace is very simple. We just ask people all over the world to act for peace. It could be as simple as a smile, it could be as elaborate as a concert, it could be really any act done with the intent to promote peace. As I always like to say, my barber cuts a hair for peace 4 times a year. So, welcome. And now I'd like to introduce Roger Casale, who's also one of the directors of Enacting Peace, and then he'll take it from here. Thanks very much, and welcome again.
Thank you so much, Michael, and welcome to all of you watching from home as we hold the space to hear the still small voice of peace in our own hearts and share that experience of peace with you. And we hope that you are feeling peace in your hearts. And as Michael has said, no act for peace is too small. And as the sun moves from east to west on this longest day of the year in the northern hemisphere and the shortest day of the year in the southern hemisphere, we think about the natural cycle of life, that nothing is permanent, nothing stands still, the world turns, and the darkness that is there today will turn into the light tomorrow. And with that thought in our hearts, let us hold peace in our hearts. Let us experience what peace is and think about what peace looks like, what it feels like to us. And we start in Europe, and we will then be moving across to the United States and to Australia, and then to India, and then through the Middle East and back to Europe. And so our first guest is Anila Noor, who will be speaking to us very shortly from the Netherlands, from near The Hague in the Netherlands. And Anila is a refugee activist. She has diverse experience working with national and international nonprofit organizations. She's the founder and director of New Women Connectors. And through all her working life, she's been dealing with peace building efforts, refugee integration, special educational focus on women's rights, and a woman who knows a great deal about peace and about making sure that our voices are heard and that we can express the peace and all the other things that we have in our hearts. So Anila, welcome, and over to you. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Roger, for inviting me, and hi everyone. I really want to respect this space. I really want to, start with a positive energy, because living in different domains is very important how we understand our position when we are talking about the peace. I will start by saying I learned in my this 3 decades of advocacy, peace is very important and start with it ourselves. So the four P's of the piece is how we unpack and understand position, how we understand the positivity, and how we understand the power. Then we can the fourth and main component of the piece. Peace is as an individual level is very important. How we sometime reflect and calmly understand the situation, how we can react to different conflict, how we can talk about how much we are power or powerless when this situation happens. Peace is so complex right now in this world where we are living. It is very important as a person. We really feel humble. We really stay positive, but also try to understand, listen, and tolerate to understand. In my work, we are always trying to co-creating the spaces where we feel safe as a person of concern, as a refugees, as a migrant and minorities, as a woman, because we feel always less powerful. That's why I talk about the power. When we have different kind of racism, discrimination, and feel powerless, we feel this is important for us to talk about how we've been negotiating our position when we are negotiating for the power. Peace is not something in the space. Peace is every day, every moment we are moving one place to other place. So peace is such kind of vibes. That's why I'm saying why I'm linking it the positivity, how we react to some situation, how we take it with the different dynamic of power. So it's positivity means how we create some humbleness, how we create some kind of positiveness, not only to give but also receive feedback. So it's very important. It is complex, but I really want to say we maybe need to unlearn few things to learn new thing when we are talking about peace. But this world is need today. How we'll talk about how different conflicts are impacting us and who has the power to control those conflicts internally, individually, nationally, internationally. It is interlinked. It's never that much complex, which is today. But that after saying this, I will say and ending this, we need to be feel powerful because we have a strong hope and never stop talking about it. Thank you so much.
Anila, thanks very much. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing with us your thoughts about peace. And now I'd like to introduce our next speaker, who is Sister Jayanti from the Brahma Kumari community. Sister Jayanti has worked tirelessly to promote positive human spiritual values to all sectors of society. Her wise and compassionate insights shine a light of clarity and relevance on all of the challenges that we're faced with today. She is the additional administrative head of the Brahma Kumaris, the director of the Brahma Kumaris for Europe and the Middle East, and has been a public speaker on many diverse platforms, ranging from environmental issues, women's upliftment, to interrelationship, friendship, health, and well-being. She really has touched and inspired millions of people. And the Brahma Kumaris are a living spiritual community that operates around the world, teaching meditation and insight and promoting peace. So it really is a joy to introduce Sister Jayanti.
Om Shanti, a greeting of peace to all my sisters and my brothers. In honor of the summer solstice, the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere, let's join together to be able to bring light on a spiritual dimension also into the world. I go on that inner journey, and I know how valuable this human physical chariot is. But now, for a few minutes, I want to focus my thoughts simply on the inner being, the being that is making this physical chariot function. In the center of the forehead is the energy that I am. I am a being of light. I am a being of peace. And in this awareness of the inner light and the peace that I am, I sense the presence of the Source, the being of light, the one who provides all that we need, the light of love, the light of peace, the light of joy, the light of purity, and the light of truth. In a world of darkness, the Source allows us to connect so that we can draw the light of truth within ourselves. And as I feel the power of this inner light being recharged through this connection with the Source, I realize that I have within myself the love, the peace, the joy that I was searching for outside. I have it within me. And in the presence of the Source, I'm energized so that these beautiful qualities awaken within me and emerge. The light of the divine allows this to happen, and I can feel my own original, natural state, a true reflection of the Creator. And these qualities not only reach me, they reach the whole of my human family. They reach the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, and all the elements of nature. And the light of the divine restores light within the whole planet and all who live within it. And we move forward together to a world of light where truth, justice, and peace exist for all. I keep this vision, and we move together towards it to make it a reality. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much, dear Sister Jayanti, for sharing your vision and for touching us with your experience of peace. No act of peace is too small. No moment, however dark, is permanent. The world is changing, the world is turning, and we turn now. As the sun moves from east to west, we move from London, as Sister Jayanti has spoken to us from, to Boston. And we welcome Lauren Lamour, who has been a great support to Enacting Peace and World Upshift over a long period of time. He was a speaker, an author, a spiritual teacher, and a certified coaching professional. She's the founder of Courageous Souls Rising Academy and a certified positive intelligence coach. And in addition to her coaching practice, she's contributed as an advisor to many international humanitarian non-profits, including Enacting Peace and World Upshift, and has a specialized focus over many years on aiding first responders and those displaced by environmental crisis and war. And Lauren is going to share her meditation with us, and then also introduce another good friend of Enacting Peace, Farrell, from Boulder in Colorado, from Humanities team. But first to Boston and to Lauren. Lauren, welcome.
Thank you, Roger. Please join me as we go even deeper into our hearts and that still, quiet place where enacting peace ultimately resides, and where we more easily connect to and remember the eternal light within. I invite you to close your eyes or create a soft gaze, whatever feels most comfortable. And begin by taking some nice, deep, cleansing breaths together. Coming more fully into your room and into your body and into the now moment. And as you're breathing, bring your attention to your heart. Now imagine, think, know, or feel a rose beginning to form there at your heart center. The most beautiful rose you've ever seen. And with each cleansing breath, that rose begins to bloom. Wider and wider still. As we hold our attention to our open hearts, we'll now move into a meditation of peace, love, and forgiveness. A meditation, prayer, and process from the Buddhist tradition called the metta prayer of loving kindness. Repeat after me to yourself. For yourself. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be well. For someone we are connected to and love, may they be happy. May they be peaceful. May they be well. For neutral people, places, and things, may they be happy. May they be peaceful. May they be well. and breathe. For someone or something we have negative feelings around, may they be happy, may they be peaceful, may they be well. For all sentient beings, may they be happy, may they be peaceful, may they be well. And take a nice deep breath in, filling your lungs. And when you do, hold it for 3 seconds. And when you're ready, let it all go. And come back fully into your body and into the present moment. Thank you and namaste. I now have the honor of introducing Steve Farrell, who is the Executive Director of Humanity's team, and we'll hear a bit from Steve about his thoughts on the solstice and peace. Thank you.
Hello, dear friends. It's a true honor to join you today for this sacred solstice gathering. Even though we're not in the same physical space, I feel deeply connected to each of you in spirit as we align with this powerful moment on the Earth's journey around the sun. I'm Steve Farrell, co-founder and worldwide executive director of Humanity's Team, a global 501c3 nonprofit committed to awakening the world to oneness, conscious living, and planetary flourishing. The solstice is a sacred pause in the great rhythm of life, a moment of stillness in nature's dance between darkness and light. Whether you're in the northern or southern hemisphere, it marks a turning point, a threshold, a moment that reminds us that everything in life moves in cycles, birth and death, light and shadow. And what a time to pause. For many of us, the world feels heavy right now. Climate extremes are growing, political systems are strained. Many of us are feeling more anxious, more fragmented, more uncertain than ever before. And yet, this is exactly why we gather. This is why these sacred pauses matter. The solstice reminds us that darkness and light are not enemies. They're partners in an eternal dance, that even the longest night eventually turns toward dawn, that every winter holds the promise of summer. We are living through a dark night of the collective soul. But just like the Earth in her orbit, we are not lost. We are in motion. We are in a great cycle of transformation. And as we move through this time, we are being invited to remember something ancient and true. Just like the Earth, we too are always cycling, always transforming in our personal lives, in our relationships, in our collective evolution. Nothing is static. This solstice invites us to remember the truth that peace is not something to be found outside of the natural flow. It is discovered within it. Too often we resist change. We cling to the light or fear the dark. But peace, true soul, deep peace, arises when we honor all parts of the journey, when we trust the turning, when we allow ourselves to be reshaped by the wisdom of each season. At Humanity's Team, we believe that humanity is now moving through its own great turning, a global shift in consciousness. We're being called to leave behind the illusion of separation and step into a new era of unity, compassion, and stewardship. And it starts within each of us. This is not passive peace. This is living peace, peace that has roots, peace that breathes with the earth, peace that radiates from a grounded presence and an awakened heart. So today, as we sit together in meditation, I invite you to listen, not just with your ears, but with your whole being. Listen to the still voice within. Listen to the earth. Listen to the sacred rhythm of your own soul. What is coming to a light in you now? What is ready to be released? What would it feel like to meet this moment with deep trust, radical love, and unwavering peace? May this solstice be a homecoming to us all, a return to the truth that we are not separate from the cycles of life. We are life in motion. We are the dawn and the dusk. We are the seed and the bloom. We are peace, remembering itself. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And from my heart to yours, blessings on this sacred day.
Steve, thanks very much for that message. And now I'd like to introduce David Less, who is a friend and a teacher and one of the co-founders of Enacting Peace and the director of the Abrahamic reunion, and a teacher of meditation for, well, better than 50 years. So David, thank you very much for participating in this and helping to inspire the whole idea. Thanks.
Thank you, Michael. And thank you, Roger. And thank you, all of the people who have spoken. It's a great lesson. Before we start a meditation, before we go into a supposedly deeper state, even though all states can be deep, we saw a number of different people share their thoughts, feelings, their essences, and everyone was different. And what we received were impressions of differences. And it's natural, because of our conditioning, to observe everybody as an individual. And that's wonderful. Each of us is created in the image of the infinite in our own unique way. The challenge, really the challenge, is to get beyond the conditioning of our own, what the Sufis would call nafs, we can call ego. So before we begin meditation, understand, please, that although the need for peace is universal, that all good things built in the world come out of peace, we have been conditioned from the dawn of humanity until now to exist in separation. It's the way our species survived. And as all of the previous speakers said so beautifully, this is the time to take a step. And the step is not global, it's not national, it's not local, it's within each of us. As each of us deals with our own limitations, with our own ego, as each of us faces our own unique challenges, we are alchemically transformed into not what we seek, because this is really not about seeking, but we are transformed by the inner struggle to our natural self. If I may say one more thing, and then we'll start a short meditation. We really need to learn from nature. It's been here a lot longer than we have. It's here, of course, to feed us, to keep us alive, but also to teach us. If you study trees, you find that trees in the forest will help each other. That if one tree has food and another doesn't, automatically the tree that doesn't will allow that food to move, rather the tree that does will allow that food to move to the tree that doesn't. It's true with animals, it's true with plants, it's even true with minerals and mountains. There is a sense of collectivity without thinking. It's not a thought. The tree is not thinking, I'm going to start an organization so that I can feed other trees. The tree is not thinking, what can I do to help my brothers and sisters? It's automatic. It's natural. It's who we are also. Yes, we've needed to come through these eons of separation, but we've never had a global civilization before. We've never had global communication before. We've never had global transportation on this level before. We've never had artificial intelligence before. Why all of these technological advances? They're actually to bring us back to the natural state. We can't think our way into the natural state. The separation of the egos brings war. It does not bring peace. As soon as we begin to realize that person that I am bombing today is me. That person that I am hating today is me. Does it mean we have no sense of righteousness? No, we have an awakened sense of righteousness. What does that mean? It means it's not a sense of I'm right and you're wrong. It's not a sense of you're dangerous to me, so I will be dangerous to you. It's a difficult, difficult task to go beyond the many threats that are in the world today. But that's our task, to go beyond that. It's not easy. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as our brothers and sisters say, said the real war, the real jihad, the real holy war is not external, but it's internal in each of us. Can we be neutral? No. Neutrality, in a sense, is death. We need to experience, as my dear friend Taisita Rinpoche says, we need to experience active peace. That's why it's so important that we're here today. We need to experience peace as a living energy. Remember, one of the profound names of God in Judaism and in Islam and in Hinduism and in Buddhism, one of the profound names is peace. None of these powerful traditions have war as one of the names of God. So we need to find our way within to make peace active and real. So close your eyes if you wish and breathe and just watch your breath. Just be an observer. Breath is life. And our physical breath, the air we breathe, carries energy. And the energy is really breath. And the energy is really God. You don't need to believe in a particular faith or philosophy or creed. If it is in your nature to do so, please do so. All of the different ways, those known and those unknown, are ways of the one supreme intelligence manifesting on this planet. There are different traditions, different cultures. There are things we like, there are things we don't like. Take a moment and actively, yet quietly, think of those people, communities, cultures, countries that we don't like. Think about them with love. Think about them with reverence. Think about them with humility. And listen. Listen with your heart. Listen to their point of view. On an ego level, we might not agree with it. But just listen. As odious, as hateful as it is to us, just listen and embrace the other. There's so much pain in this world because there's so little active listening. There's so little active peace. It's not easy. When Jesus said, love the enemy as the self, it wasn't just a moral teaching. It was a way to live a peaceful life. Turn the other cheek. Hopefully, we've learned something. We've learned that resist not evil is a very powerful teaching. The mind says, but we have to resist. They could come, they could kill us, they could take away our stuff, they could destroy our civilization. We know all those fears. But what's really needed is to lull the devil to sleep. Love the devil to sleep. Can you imagine, just for a moment, what would happen if enemies started to say, oh, I hear you. I understand you. I see you. I feel you. Even though you are my enemy, I still love you. It's not easy. But it's possible. And if we can do this with our families, our friends, our communities, then we truly can change the world. But, like it or not, it must begin with each of us individually. And where does it end? I and my sister are one. I and my brother are one. I and all of nature are one, not conceptually, but experientially. I feel it, I see it, I live it. Spread love throughout the universe. Let it flow, let it be free. Shed love wherever you traverse. May love keep you company. So love, it's all around. No love won't let you down. Spread love throughout the universe. Let it flow. Let it be free. So thank you all.
David, thank you. Thank you for guiding us. Thank you for inspiring us. Thank you for reminding us that if we hold peace in our hearts, that we are one. And as the world continues to turn, we move now from the United States to Australia. And we're going to hear from Pollyanna Darling on the Sunshine Coast, who is an author, an award-winning author, an experienced life coach, a speaker, shamanic song weaver, a tree sister, poet, and a mother. And she loves the mystical nature of life and speaking to us at a time when, of course, it's the shortest day of the year in the southern hemisphere. She is going to share the peace in her heart now with us. Pollyanna, thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Pollyanna. I'm speaking to you from the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. And I'm sitting here in a conservation park in a grove of trees. I'm sitting on the ground. I'm watching a kookaburra fluffing up his feathers, keeping his eyes peeled for something to eat. And I've been sitting here reflecting on peace. I think it's really important before trying to find peace to acknowledge what is not peace, because there is so much in the world right now that is not peace. And so before I can seek peace, I am acknowledging the warmongering, the genocide, the suffering, and the struggles of human beings everywhere, from big struggles to small struggles. Acknowledging that that is also a part of life. And then bringing myself to this place where I am, in this grove of young trees, with the bird song that soothes the human nervous system because it means there are no predators around. And I'm just finding the stillness that the trees teach. Because if you sit with trees, they can't go anywhere. They can't dance, they can't run, they don't walk. They're rooted in place. They are where they will remain until they stop being. And there's a way where if I slow down enough, I can let my awareness drop down into the earth and root down into the dark soil, feeling for the underground water, feeling down through all the layers of mycelium and insect activity down to the bedrock, to the stillness. And I can also flow upward, right up to the leaves in the tip of the tree, up to the leaves that are soaking in the sunshine and turning it into sugar and transporting it down to their roots and feeding the mycelium. Just being with these beings that are circulating water and sugars, transforming sunlight into energy, hosting insects and birds. And even though I can hear the highway not too far off, even though there's a dog barking somewhere, even though there are parts of this park that have been cordoned off because of the flooding caused by our recent cyclone, there's a stillness here. There is a center point, a point of stillness. And for me, that's where the peace lies, in the stillness. And it's funny because it isn't really stillness. The trees are growing, they're photosynthesizing, the grass is growing, the soil is alive with 1 million microorganisms. And it seems like stillness to me. But in reality, it's life continuing. And because I'm part of that life, and I'm letting myself become the pace of the tree. There's a peace within me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pollyanna, for reminding us that we can find peace in our hearts, not just by listening to our friends and our neighbors, or as Dave reminded us, even to our enemies, listening to and loving the other, but also listening to nature, listening to the trees, listening to the natural cycle of life. And we all of us pause to do that this solstice and perhaps on other days throughout the year, to find that moment, to pause for a moment, to find that peace, that light, that love in our own hearts. And through that, to connect so deeply with each other. Thank you so much for sharing that from the Gold Coast in Australia. And another person who knows about holding peace in her heart is Lady Mohini Kent Noor, who is going to speak to us next, whose life experience is taken her to spend much of her life in India, as well as in the United Kingdom. She is an author and has her own charity, Lily Stop the Trafficking, and a filmmaker. And she is going to speak to us now. So welcome, Mohini. Welcome, Lady Mohini Kent Noor.
The summer solstice 2025, I feel blessed to be part of this Enacting Peace meditation. Peace has to be anchored in the present moment, not in the past and not in the future. And peace is personal. I have to find it in my own heart. It cannot be gifted by one to another. It has to be attained by personal practice, personal sadhana. But people don't have peace because of endless desire. We don't need so much, but we want more and more. The human race has plundered the natural world, destroyed the balance, dangerously so, and we continue to do so in our reckless way. Water, food, meat, fish, fruit, we don't need so much. And the wastage is terrible. A wise spiritual guide described it as one big shoplifting exercise by the human race in the millions of years that we have occupied planet Earth. Sounds terrible, but it's true. Peace of mind gives peace of heart, and it brings peace in life. But our minds are so distracted, and it is hard to find peace in big cities that never sleep. I live in London, where the traffic never stops, where the lights never go out. The constant noise, toxicity, the pace of technology, which goes faster and faster each day, the endless demands on our attention create stress. The truth is also that we actively seek distractions. There is fear of missing out. We run away from peace and silence. We run away from our own self. Very few want to come face to face with their own self. Instead, they distract themselves with friends, with travel, with eating out, with entertainment, with social media, by following pointless celebrities and listening to self-appointed guides on the various chat shows. We choose anything and everything, in short, but our own self. But is it satisfying? Does it bring peace in life? It does not. Then how do we find peace? Nature can help. Doing walking meditations in park can help. Seeing a single rose in the park can lift the spirits, because there is great peace in nature. There is peace in meditation and in deep breathing, even just to acknowledge the miracle of the breath that keeps us alive and walking on this earth. There are tools to achieve this peace of heart, but one must want to be at peace. One must wish it. As the great prophet Hillel said, if not now, when? He also said, if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? But if I'm only for myself, who am I? And if not now, when? Peace is tranquility. Peace is inner freedom, that space within. So let us shed the burdens and actively, consciously choose peace today. Thank you.
Mohini, thank you so much for sharing with us today your thoughts for peace and for supporting all that we do at Enacting Peace. I'd now like to introduce Sheikh Ghassan Manasra, who has just sent us a video because he's in Nazareth, he's in Israel, and he is constantly in communication with people to promote peace in a very difficult situation. Ghassan is the International Program Director for the Abrahamic Reunion, but more than that, he is someone who has dedicated and devoted his entire life to being a peacemaker. And he constantly inspires me by his selfless, unending work for peace. So here's the word from Nazareth. Action.
Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum, Shalom Aleichem, peace be upon you. From Nazareth, from the city of Jesus, the city of light and love, I'm talking to you from the depth of my heart. I want to say that we love you so much all around the world as you love us. We try to say something sometimes without words, without voice, with all of love. We know that you hear us and you with us. We are passing a very, very dangerous and challenging time. It's not easy. It's clash everywhere. Sometimes you can hear the voice of the helicopters upon us, above us. I would like to pray for all of us. I'll say, oh God, clean the mirrors of our hearts and open the eyes and ears of our hearts. God, clean our intention and intent for to be a complete people, for to stop the war. God, make us the messengers of peace and love in this world. God, give us the peace, spread peace all around us, plant peace within us, because you are the peace and you give the peace. God, create connection between all of the people all around the world, not here, in everywhere. In the Holy Land and all of the world, because all of the world is holy. The holiness will come from the people, not from the place. We are the people and the place. Then we need your support. Support us with prayers, with financial sides, with everything. We need you. We need you. We are working very good here and connecting all of the people to be again the same family, because we are the same family. Love and peace. Shalom, salam, peace.
Ghassan, we send our thanks to you and our support and our love. Be well. And remember to eat and sleep. Thank you so much for taking the time in the midst of all that's happening around you to have sent us this message. And now I'd like to introduce and to welcome live from Israel, Rabbi Leora Ezrachi-vered, who is a rabbi affiliated with the Spirit of Galilee, an organization focused on promoting pluralism, understanding, cooperation between different religions. Rabbi Leora has been a voice for peace and joy in the midst of all of the challenges that the people in Israel and Palestine face. She's a fellow of the Honey Foundation for Israel. And her ordination in 2017 was notable because it coincided with the 25th anniversary of her mother's ordination and the 110th anniversary of her great-grandfather's ordination. And it really is a joy and a blessing and a privilege to welcome Rabbi Leora to this conversation. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me. Every Zoom I start, I need to say that I might have to drop everything and run. Let's hope it'll be quiet. Thank you for all the speakers before who invoked nature. One of the things that we don't speak or maybe even realize that during an active war, finding solace in nature is hard, if not impossible. For us, it is forbidden at this point. It is too dangerous to be far away from a bomb shelter. I have been up every night in the past 9 days with my 3 children and my husband and our very, very old dog in our family bomb shelter, sometimes several times a night. So I've been trying to find where peace lives in these days. And one way for me right now is through people who I love and care about, or I find inspiring, people like in this group. And I think of the suffering of others who are worse than me. I think, first of all, of the 53 hostages, Israeli, not Jews and non-Jews alike in Gaza, and their families who don't know if their families are alive, if their loved ones are alive or dead. I think of the people of Gaza who are suffering in a never-ending war. I think of Israeli citizens who are of all religions and traditions, who are scared every single hour of the day in the past 9 days. And I think of the Galilee as my point of inspiration. The Galilee has been a mosaic of shared living for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years. We know this from our ancient texts. We know it in the Hebrew scriptures. We know it from the Mishnah and the Talmud that describe how different people of different faiths live side by side. We know it from the Christian scriptures. And I feel proud that I'm part of a tradition that for hundreds of years shows that we can live together and can create a beautiful mosaic in which everybody is their own little color in the bigger picture, but together we create something unique. And one of the things that I'm proud of doing is leading Spirit of the Galilee, which is a coalition of peacemakers and faith leaders of all traditions in the Galilee, Jews, Christians, Muslims, Druze, Baha'i, Buddhists. And together we not only are friends with each other, but try to send a message to the wider community. In fact, just 2 days ago, we went together, faith leaders of different faiths, to share our condolences with a family that was killed from a missile attack in the Arab town of Tamra, not far from us. And I think a lot of the late Vivian Silver. Vivian Silver was a peace activist, a leader who lived in the South. I met her 10 days before October 7th. She joined me for Yom Kippur prayers and was so happy and moved to be with us. And 10 days later, she was murdered by Hamas. And Vivian said, "There is no way for peace. Peace is the way." That is her quote. And I take that with me wherever I go. And remember that no matter what I do, I have to do it with mindfulness of, is this bringing peace or not? And I'll finish with a short prayer that I gave at an interfaith gathering a few days ago. I'm sorry if I'm not being original, but after 8 days with very interrupted sleep, it's hard to be original all the time. But I think this is a good prayer, and I'd like to bring it, and I'll end it with singing the verses. The poet Yehuda Amichai from Jerusalem said, "And don't forget that the fist was once an open hand and fingers. Billions of people live on our small globe. Millions live in the Middle East, 10 million between the Jordan and the sea. We all have eyes, hands, hearts. We have a choice. Will our hands be used for war or for good? Even in war, there is a choice. Will we do everything to preserve human life? Our prayer today is for the basic right to live safely, protected, with enough food, with a smile and a hug. Each man under his own vine and every woman under her own fig tree. To live without fear of hatred and racism, and to know that we are all equal before the law. My prayer today are the words of the prophet Isaiah, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And I'll sing the verses in the original Hebrew. וכיתתו חרבותם לעתים, וחניתותיהם למזברות. וכיתתו חרבותם לעתים, וחניתותיהם למזמרות. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדון עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, ולא ילמדון עוד מלחמה. וכיתתו חרבותם לעתים, וחניתותיהם למזמרות. וכיתתו חרבותם לעתים, וחניתותיהם למזמרות. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדון עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, ולא ילמדון עוד מלחמה.
Amen.
Thank you so much, dear Rabbi Leora, dear Sheikh Ghassan, for sharing your testimonies with us at this time, such a perilous, dark, difficult time, both of you sharing the light of peace that you hold in your hearts, reminding us to keep the light of peace in our own at this time and at all times. And for all you do in these difficult, trying, terrible circumstances to act for peace. And remember, for all of us listening at home, no act of peace is too small. No moment where we hold peace in our hearts is insignificant. And remember that nothing is permanent. Even in these dark times, the world is turning. We are part of a world of the natural cycle of life. And the world and things can change from this moment to the next. If we come together, if we join together, if we hold peace in our hearts. And Paramahamsa Yogananda said that if we want to see peace in the world, we need to have peace in our hearts. And the Ananda movement, which is based in Europe, and now we are back in Europe. We've moved around the world from Europe and then to the United States, Australia, India, Middle East, and now back to Europe. Ananda have their headquarters in Assissi, and we're so grateful for them, for their support for Enacting Peace, and for the meditations that we have held from the Temple of Light at the Ananda Center in Assisi, and also for their support at the Ananda Global Village in California. And we turn to them now. In Assisi today, they're holding their International Day of Yoga. They also support Education for Life initiatives, and we're very grateful for their contribution to all our meditations, and especially to their contribution today, which we're going to turn to now from Assisi, Italy.
Hello to everyone, especially hello to those participating today. Thank you to Upshift and Enacting Peace for carrying this platform. We're on our very southeastern border of our property here at Ananda Assisi community, and we're happy to participate and to continue to participate and promote these meditations for peace. And again, thank you for doing it, and thank you all who will be participating today. Our intent at Ananda Assisi was to actually participate live, but the 21st Saturday is, of course, the Yoga International Day, and we also have an event in Assisi, and so I will hope to join Roger and all of you live, but for right now we thought to be safe and secure we would do this this little part pre-recorded. We also have a pre-recording of our choir at the Ananda village in America singing the song Peace, and I encourage you all when that clip comes on to listen very carefully to the words, because it's really not only a beautiful melody but it's a beautiful song. So I wanted to just share with you just a brief thought about peace. I'm also invited our representative from our Living Wisdom School, our Education for Life School, to talk a little bit about children, and that's a little bit where I wanted to take off from too. You know, I visited the Holy Land in 40 years ago, at a time when where I still could visit the Arab or the Muslim quarter, and there was the Christian quarter, and you could have coffee. There was an interaction, there was freedom of movement. And what we saw happen in Israel is the same thing we saw happen in between Croatia and I wanted to say Serbia, but what happened is that there again, the children went to school together, they played together, but then there's that enters into the consciousness of separation, of suspicion, of dislike, or even hatred. And we at Ananda have dedicated ourselves to promoting these communities, this communities movement, where we try to find that peace and develop peace every day of the year. We are committed to our meditations. We live with this phrase that when the mind is deeply calm, the inner light spontaneously appears. And we practice that very sincerely, morning and evening. We take time to develop that peace in our heart, to develop that peace in our minds. And it's important that we also help children to develop that, because it's the children that are going to help finally bring peace on this earth. Because if we can establish peace and let the children be solid and centered in their attitude of peace, then as they grow older, these insidious type attitudes and separations and suspicions won't enter. But we need to start, as Roger often says, he likes the phrase that Yogananda uses here, that we often quote, that if you want to change the world, you need to change yourself. And that's what we hope to instill in the children's hearts and minds. And that's what we try to promote with all the guests who come here and visit us. And that's what we try to promote in the community's movement that we are trying to develop throughout the world. So I thank you all. This is a very important thing that you're all participating and sustaining. We need these meditations for peace. We need these real affirmations of peace. And thank you from the bottom of my heart and all of us at Ananda for carrying on this torch of peace.
Thank you, Ananda. And it's really a joy to be here with all of you. My name is Cora, and I am part of the school and the system education for life. And it's really a joy to share with you the value and the jewel and the opportunity that we have to share with children the meaning of peace and the experience especially of peace. And Nelson Mandela said that education is the most powerful weapon to change the world. And we feel it's so true, because even the great masters, they started schools. They cared about education because, you know, we can see the world in the present moment, but the present moment is actually the moment to act. It's the only moment that we have the power to act. And in this moment, we can really help children to understand, to experience, and to live the meaning of peace. And so, as Anand was saying, the change is in ourselves. Now, we can be the change of the world. So, for a teacher, for an educator, this means that you are the example. So, in our lives, in our voice, in every gesture, in our gaze, now there should be this vibration of calmness, of love, of welcoming and respect of everyone that we have around us, and especially to our children. Because, you know, everything that we feel, every action, every thought that we do is an expression of love or is a request of love. And so if we see that in every child, it's really easy to understand what you have to actually awake in you, and how you have to respond to the child is always from a place of love and calmness. And what we see in the world, what the war that we see around, or the conflict, is about fear, is the opposite of love. So if we can help children, you know, to live the first years of their lives with an example of love, in an environment of love, and especially calling in themselves, who am I? Now listening inside to this center that is already inside of us. This place that is safe, this place that is silent, this place that is peace and freedom within and relaxation. If they can touch a little bit of that place, even when they are 2 years old, 3 years old, and then going on building on that place, on that connection, we have already inside all the peace, all the love, all the harmony that we deserve and that we want to project in this world, that we want to realize together. So it's really a blessing for an educator, a teacher, a parent to really just support that awakening in the child. It is already there, and have that love blossom. And you know, the Dalai Lama said, if we can teach meditation to every child, violence will disappear from the world in 1 generation. So we don't have to feel that we don't have power. We actually have all the power, and the present is the right moment. So we can do so much to really change this reality and really bring all the peace, all the light that we are dreaming, making that real. Thank you so much.
Peace gave us the mountains, peace gave us the sky. Nightly when starlight enfolds us, peace is its lullaby.
Well, I'd like to thank the Ananda community, Ananda, Clara, and the choir for really a wonderful message of peace. And I'd like to thank everybody who has contributed, participated, and all those people who have watched, and I know who are with us in their hearts and in our prayers. It's really, I think, there is nothing more important at this time and maybe at any time, but embracing peace and acting for peace, as we like to say. Peace is not passive. Peace is active, and peace is not the ending of all conflicts. It's the ending of the violence. Peace creates the space so that we can begin to deal with conflict. Every tree exists because of peace. Every building stands because of peace. So I just like to invite everyone to celebrate peace, to experience peace, to embrace peace, and to realize that peace is not the result of the decisions of politicians or influencers or people perceived as leaders. Peace is created by the decisions that each one of us make every moment. We all live with the expectation of peace. Subconsciously, those of us who are blessed with peace often don't celebrate it, don't embrace it, and more importantly, don't act to create it and preserve it. So I'd like to invite all of you to celebrate peace and also to share with us, what does peace look like to you? We'll put up an address at the end, and just send us images, videos, photographs of what peace looks like to you, what peace really looks like to you, the reality, not the imagined or the AI created images of peace, but the real images of what peace looks like to you. Share those with us, and we will share them with everyone who follows us and participates with us. And again, I really can't thank the people who have contributed to this. I really can't thank you enough. It has been just wonderful. And we hope that all of us will continue to provide strength and prayers and love for those people who are in situations which are not peaceful. And particularly to Ghassan and Rabbi Leora, I'd really like to thank you for taking the time in the midst of what is unimaginable suffering and challenges, to take time to share your visions of peace with us and all that you do for peace. And again, I'd like to thank everybody. Be well, be peaceful, and send us images of peace, and we'll be back in the fall and spring equinox. Thanks very much. Blessings. Peace. Peace be upon you.
I will